Hi, I'm Dara. I just finished reorganizing my yarn stash and it was a doozy. So keep watching and I'll show you what I did. Okay, so I was cleaning out my knitting stash, not cleaning out, getting it all out so I could reorganize and take an inventory. And I found this cardigan that I knitted a long time ago from my friend's mom's yarn. And I don't think it's gonna fit her. I've been saving it. I haven't had a chance to get up to see her. So I've decided I'm just gonna put some buttons on it and wear it myself. I'm just going to use the green ones because they look kind of funky, and I think it's going to brighten up the sweater. And it's not the best fit. This pattern with the it's one of those ones that doesn't have a set-in sleeve, makes for a lot of bulk under here, but I'll try it on when I'm done. Got the buttons sewn on. It took me about 15 minutes. And now I'm going to try it on. And I can always take it to my friend if I ever go visit her again. I shouldn't say that, when I go visit her again. And if it fits her, she can have it. But in the meantime, it has buttons and it's out of the work in progress. What I would do, because I've had this yarn stash now for a few years, is take an inventory, which it makes me cringe. But to make it more fun, I'm gonna just use this. It's got nice flat pages and I've got my nice markers here. Here's my inventory of baby yarn. I don't know why I thought it would fit on one page. It's actually 2 pages. And not included in the inventory are these scraps right here. Right here. On to the rest of the yarn. Here's my inventory of, I'm calling it Dara's yarn. This is yarn that I've purchased with either a purpose in mind and I changed my mind, or it didn't work for it, or I was at a sale and I thought it was a good deal. So that one was one of those. And this one was one that I bought to make a specific cardigan for myself, and then I didn't like the way it was going. So there's about 14 items in the inventory, and it's basically covering my craft table here. All right, this is sock yarn. There's enough new sock yarn to make 14 pairs of socks. I know that sounds like a lot. So that's all here in this bin. That's the nice thing about sock yarn. They make a great gift. My family loves wearing socks that I've made. I love wearing them, and it's super compact to store. So in this bin, I have scraps that I think are big enough to mash up with more scraps to make more socks. A pair of socks that are ready to go to be gifted. They're too small for me. And here's a pair of toe-ups that I started, but this yarn is way too fine for socks. It's really more for a scarf or something. So before I put these away, I'm going to be unraveling that, putting it away. And this is a blanket that I'm working on made from my sock yarn scraps. So I've already done one blanket from sock yarn scraps. It took me about 4 years, and it's not straight 4 years of knitting. It's just putting it down and picking it up, and that amount of time to accumulate the yarn. So I've got some little bit of scraps here to keep going. I've got one more panel, and I've started on this panel, and it's been put away for a while. This has been on the go for about 5 years. That's okay. It's a really boring project, even though I really love it. It takes super long to knit with sock yarn. And I'll insert a picture of my other one. And that's it for my sock yarn. I thought I'd do a quick inventory of my works in progress. It's only 4. This is from this book here. I thought I would try this one. It's going to be pretty complicated, but I bought the yarn for it about 1.5 years ago, so I got started on it and then put it away for something else. There's no baby coming yet that this is for. I just wanted to try it because it's got the color work in it. This is more sugar bush cotton. It's really nice, and I started to make this top here for myself because it's a loose fit. I'm not one for cap sleeves, but I think I have enough here to just go a little longer on the sleeves. And it's knit in one piece from the bottom up until you get to the sleeves. And I know I stopped because of this hem flip, which happens on knits. That's a whole other video. Okay, and this is what I'm working on right now, this little tweed jacket. It was a free pattern, and I'm using this yarn, and I've got the back and both fronts and half of the first sleeve. So getting there on this one. And this is a pair of socks for my husband, and I've started using this toe up method and just using the whole ball. And I've had a few like this for him, and they do, even though they're long, they're at a good length for him, and the rib stretches out. So now I'm not going to keep accumulating socks yarn scraps. Okay, this inventory I'm not going to write down. It's leftovers from other projects where I bought too much, or I changed my mind on the project and made a smaller size, and it's too much for my scrap bag, but not sure what to do with it next. So I'm just keeping it, and as I think of things to make with it, I will. This pile here is inherited yarn, and this is my reminder why I need to be careful about building a stash. I actually inherited 3 people's stashes in the space of about 1 year, and it was about 3 or 4 times this amount of yarn. Some of the yarn I've mixed into my own baby yarn because baby stuff is more timeless. And I have actually knit some stuff out of this, but there was just so much, and these colors are so dated. The fibers in this case are completely unknown. And then I have this royal blue, and it's so old. It's from Kmart, and the price was 3 for 77 cents. That's how old this yarn is. And this green stuff is such a weird color. So I'm not going to count it in my inventory. Then there's some odds and sods in here. I'm not going to count it in my inventory. I'm not going to feel under any obligation to use it. I do have the space to store it right now. I wanted to show this sweater that I knitted for my husband. It was from yarn that was part of one of the stashes that I inherited. And it's a lovely wool acrylic blend. And the dye lot on all the ball labels was the same. I think it shows in this natural light. There was actually a couple of the skeins that came out in a darker color. So even though it said it was the same dye lot, I guess as the yarn aged, it faded differently. So another cautionary tale for me to not stash for too long and to use up my yarn as quickly as possible. All right, here's all my yarn. It all fits into my cold storage and my yarn cupboard. It still looks like a lot. I didn't really part with anything, but it's organized and consolidated. Okay, so I've got 3 bags of baby yarn hanging up in my cold storage. Then the 3 tubs. It's not too bad. One more thing of baby yarn. My pattern's at the back. And then everything's in bundles of and then those 2 project bags of stuff that I'm working on currently. So that's not too bad. It is pretty jammed, but I can get at it. It's a lot more organized and I can get at it a lot easier. And I have my inventory, so I know what I have. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.